The Trump administration announced today that starting on September 2nd, Haitians cannot remain in the U.S. under a special temporary protection status they'd been granted. About 500,000 Haitians in the U.S. could now face deportation. The U.S. government says Haiti, which has been racked by gang violence, is now safe enough for residents to return home. That's despite State Department warnings that advise Americans not to travel to Haiti. It's part of a broader change by the administration to revoke legal protections for citizens of several unstable countries, including Venezuela. Many Venezuelan migrants ended up in Chicago, where special correspondent Fred DeSam Lazaro reports about a community on edge. It's part of our series, Race Matters.
Here in Chicago, two successful entrepreneurs have carved out a piece of their American dream. They were proud to invite us into their thriving business with 24 employees. As immigration raids intensified in Chicago, though, they asked us to hide their identities.
We have a community that is very afraid.
Ana Hill Garcia runs the Illinois Venezuelan Alliance, an organization that since 2017 has provided a variety of services to the growing community in this state.
We were receiving phone calls that they needed food because we don't want to go out. And then one of the things that really is the saddest part for me is this is the last week in the school system. The children have their recitals. You know, the children have their graduation. And parents, they don't want to take the children.
They're afraid that they won't return home.
They are very afraid.
Are these people legal? I mean, they actually have a right to be here based on TPS?
Yeah, they have the right to be here. 11,000 people that were given TPS.
TPS, or Temporary Protected Status, for up to 18 months, is given to individuals from designated countries beset by armed conflict or natural disasters. It shields them from deportation and enables them to obtain work permits. There are currently more than 1 million TPS holders in the U.S. from more than a dozen countries. The Biden administration granted some 230,000 Venezuelans TPS status in 2021 and expanded protections in 2023 as Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro cracked down on opposition as inflation spiked and as food prices soared.
They emptied their jails into our country.
The Trump administration moved quickly to end those protections, the president singling out Venezuelans in particular.
They sent their gangs, probably the worst gang anywhere in the world, as bad as MS-13, maybe worse, and they came out of the jails of Venezuela.
Unfortunately, this is a community that has been criminalized.
Ana Hill Garcia says the vast majority of Venezuelan newcomers are not criminal.
The general thinking that we have is that all those executive orders about immigrants is about us. It's not about the other immigrant. It's about, more about the Venezuelan.
And Chicago, a so-called sanctuary city, has also been drawn into the national conversation around immigration. It's quiet now, but it's to this spot called the landing zone that tens of thousands of migrants began arriving in Chicago beginning in 2022. Bussed here by Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Some 2/3 of the new arrivals were from Venezuela.
August 2022, I got a phone call from the mayor's office telling me, are you aware that there are 4 buses coming from Texas and 3 of those are Venezuelans? And I said, no clue.
Hill Garcia's group and other Chicago nonprofits sprang into action.
We have done many different things, from clothing drive, furniture drive, TPS clinics, asylum clinics, and we were the primary providers of the interpreters and translators, right? And still we're working with them.
Working with TPS holders like Tino, an IT specialist, and Belen, a teacher who fled Venezuela and asked us to hide their identity for fear of deportation.
He tells me, sir, you'd better leave because they're going to take you to jail.
This is what a member of the Venezuelan National Guard told Tino when he protested the scarcity of gasoline under the Maduro regime.
The person who protests, the one who raises his voice, becomes a target.
So he fled, made Chicago his new home, and was granted TPS.
For immigrants, you feel the same as other person in Chicago. Because the law in Chicago, you are the same, whatever person, with paper or not, you are the same, you have the same right, and then you feel safe.
There's ice on your block.
But as federal immigration raids across the city increased in recent weeks, sparking massive protests, the level of fear has also gone up for this couple who've been together 10 years.
Vista esta situación es preocupante.
It is worrying because we left one unstable situation for another.
What is your biggest concern today?
Mi preocupación es enorme.
My level of concern is enormous because we came to this country with a purpose. We didn't expect this. We were running away from the impunity of Venezuela, and the purpose was to work to achieve our goals.
We support the legal immigrant.
Chuck Hernandez is chair of the Chicago Republican Party.
There's not really an appetite to support those who come here, whether it be illegally or under a temporary program that was put in by Biden.
He says the Trump administration has a right to enact its immigration policies. He says the arrivals from Venezuela have strained Chicago's resources.
We're having right now in Chicago a real crunch financially, and then the amounts of Chicago taxpayer money going towards many of these groups, it's money that could be used towards citizens that should not be going towards these people that are here on a temporary type of basis.
How do you respond to people who say T is for temporary?
The issue here is not that they're dealing with gangs, they're dealing with human beings. And when a human being is afraid to go back, and that's really what the situation is here, that people has been told that Venezuela is getting better. Venezuela is not getting better. Venezuela is getting worse.
I sympathize with them, but this was the fault of the Biden administration by giving people false hope that you can come here.
For their part, Venezuelans we spoke with said they feel a sense of déjà vu.
En mi país no hay debido proceso judicial.
In my country, there is no legal process. The United States was the first country to guarantee those freedoms, and now living through this situation, it feels the same as what happened in Venezuela, because they are not respecting the due process of the people.
No están respetando el debido proceso a las personas.
In the meantime, many will continue to stay in the shadows, afraid of what lurks outside their front door. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Fred DeSam Lazaro in Chicago.